Hi guys, so today we are going to discuss the poetry Sita, which is written by Totu Dutt. So Totu Dutt was one of the famous writers of India. She was one of the first writers to write in French and English. She was the first to use Hindu mythologies in poetry. For example, Lotus. In the poetry Lotus, she used Hindu mythologies. And we know Totu Dutt had a tough life. She lost her brother and sister at a very young age. Then she lost her mother. Then she itself died at a very small age of 21, right? So she has written a lot of poetries in French. She has translated a volume of French, literature. And here we have a poetry Sita, which can be called as an autobiographical poetry since she wrote about her childhood and experiences of childhood. So this is a very simple, sweet poetry. Hope you guys like this. So we are doing a line by line explanation. So just go along with me so that you'll get each line explanation of each line here. So yeah, take a look at the poetry. So the poetry Sita by Totu Dutt. Three happy children in a darkened room. What do they gaze on with wide open eyes? So we have three happy children who are sitting in a darkened room, and they are gazing on something with a wide open eyes. What are they gazing on? A dense forest where no sunbeam pries, and in its center a cleared spot. So someone is telling them a story. What is the story about? So a dense forest. We have a dense forest, a thick forest, and no sun rays falls inside the forest. It's so thick, very thick forest. And in the center of the forest, a cleared spot is there. They bloom gigantic flowers on creepers that embrace tall trees there, a quite lucid lake. So here in the forest, there are big flowers. Gigantic flowers means big flowers are there, and they grow on creepers and they're tall trees. In the forest, we have tall trees and a quite lucid lake. What is a lucid lake? A clear lake is there. The white swans glide there, veering from the break. So white swans, what are swans? Bird like a duck, right? So there are swans veering from the break means flapping their wings. So these swans are there, they are swimming, they are flapping their wings. The peacock springs there, herd of wild deers race. So peacock is there, a lot of deers are there, they are running, they are racing. So what a beautiful imagery, right? Yes, their patches gleam with yellow waving grain. So what are these things? Yellow waving grain. So these are the grains which are in the field. So when the grains are ready for harvest, they are seen as yellow, right? So the field is full of these grains ready for harvest, and they are moving along with the wind. That is what said here. Waving means they are moving along with the wind. Then there blue smoke from strange altar rise light. So some sort of blue smoke is coming out of altar. So when we do all these mantras and pujas, we have this smoke, all this smoke coming out, right? Huge amount of smoke will be released from burning some sort of things in pujas and mantras. So that is what's said here. So somebody is doing some sort of puja and mantra somewhere, and this blue smoke is coming out of those mantras and altars. Altar means the place where all these pujas and mantras is going on. Okay. There dwells in peace the poet anchorite. But who's that fair lady? Now, there dwells in peace the poet anchorite. So there we have a poet anchorite. Who's this poet anchorite? So that is a Valmiki. So poet anchorite represent a Valmiki. But one more person is there, right? A fair lady. Who's that fair lady? That is a Sita from Ramayana. Not in vain, she weeps. So she's weeping, right? Like she's weeping means she's crying. Why is she crying? So this part of the story is when the Sita was left by Rama. So Sita was kidnapped by Ravana, and Rama saves her. But Rama starts doubting her with Ravana, and Rama rejects her, and she was left alone in the forest. And she is lonely there. She has nobody now. Rama has left her. She has no one. She's lonely now. She is very depressed and upset. That is why she is weeping. That is why she is crying. So we have this fair lady. She is crying. At every tear she shed, tears from three pairs of young eyes fall immense. So here the poet is saying, for every drop of tears the Sita is shedding, tears from three pairs of young eyes is also coming out. That is, when the Sita is crying, by hearing the story of Sita crying, the children are also crying. The tears is coming out of children's eyes too. And what happened? And bowed in sorrows are the three young head. So when do people bow their head down? When they are depressed or sad, right? Or they are upset. So these children, they are getting sad and upset by hearing the sorrows of Sita, and they are bowing their head low since they are sad. It's an old story, and the lay which has evoked sad Sita from the past. So the point is saying it's an old story, right? But the storyteller has brought back the Sita from the past to the present by telling the story. By through the story, the Sita had come from the past to the present. Now, is why a mother's son, 'tis hushed at last, and melts the picture from the sight away. Yet shall they dream of it until the day. So now, when the mom saw the children crying, when she saw they are upset, she suddenly stops saying the story or telling the story, since she don't want her children to get upset. So she stops telling the story, and then she gets busy in something else. And now she says that now the picture of Sita is gone from children's mind. It has disappeared or vanished from children's mind. But they will one day they will dream about it. Once again, they will dream about it, or they shall dream about. Let them dream about it one day. That's what the poet said. Now, when shall those children by their mother's side gather me as it at eventide? So Here, the poet is asking, when will those children gather again with mother? And Hami, it is an expression of upset or depression. Okay, and she wishes for this moment to happen again once more. So this is what's said in these lines. So now let me make it clear for you all. So here, the poet is talking about her childhood experience. Three children. Here, three children are the poet, like the poet, her brother, sister. So the three children is the poet and her brother and sister. And at night, their mother used to tell them stories. And at that day, mother told them the story about Sita. Okay, so Totu Dutt, talking about Totu Dutt had a tough life. She lost her brother and sister at a young age, and then lost her mother too. So there's no chance of getting this moment back since these people are no more. Now Totu Dutt is all alone. She has nobody, brother, sister, no one is there. So through the condition of Sita, she's representing herself. She is trying to talk about her own situation. Right, like Sita's all alone in the forest. She has no one. Dramas left her now. She is depressed. Likewise, Totu Dutt is all alone in life. She has nobody. She has lost her brother, sister, mother, everybody. She's alone. So through Sita, Totu Dutt is showing herself. Okay, in the last line we can see, when shall those children by their mother's side gather? So through this, like this cannot happen again since all these people are no more, right? So but she wishes for this moment to happen again, even though she knows this moment cannot be made again, but she wants this to happen again. Okay, so this is the story. So now the darkened room represents night, and the first starting happy children and all. Here happiness and satisfied and everything is shown. The first part of the story shows happiness, satisfied, right? Then we have this word dense. The word dense is used twice to represent how dense the forest is. It emphasizes how dense the forest is. That is such a dense forest. Okay, now the word creeper. Creeper, what is the peculiarity of a creeper? Creeper is a plant which need a support to grow on, right? So they always depend on some other trees or some other things to survive, to grow. So here the creepers represent dependence. Now, veering from the break, that is flapping their wings. It is taken from Alexander Pope's poetry. He talks about a forest in his poetry that is a European forest in a European country. Okay, so that imagery is used here. Now the point anchorage, it's a Valmiki. Then we have this yellow waving grain. Yellow waving grain represents prosperity, symbol of prosperity. Then we have lay. What is the meaning of lay? Story. Lay means story. Okay, so that is now who's the fair lady? The name Sita is not used in the poetry, since by the thing, the fair lady itself, we can automatically understand the poet is talking about Sita. That's why the name Sita is not used. Okay, so this is the poetry Sita. Hope you guys understood. So that was all about the poetry Sita, which was written by Totu Dutt. So how was the poetry? I love the poetry. Such a simple, cute, authentic poetry, right? Yes. So you guys make sure you go through the lines thoroughly, read them again and again so that those lines get fixed in your brain. For exams, you'll be getting those lines and you have to explain using those lines. And if you get a line, you can explain. There's no doubt about that. I'm pretty sure about that. There's no big task. But the task is to find out where these lines came from. From which poetries are these lines from? That is a big task. If you don't go through the lines, you won't be able to recognize the poem, right? So if you make those lines fixed in your brain, by one glance itself, you'll be able to understand the poetry and you'll be able to write beautifully about the poetry. Okay, so hope this video was helpful for you all, and thank you so much for the support. Keep on supporting and subscribe to the channel and share this video to the friends you're gonna attend the exam in the coming month, that is soon. So thank you so much, guys. God bless.